The day the Celestial Academy reads your mana circuits is the day they decide what you are worth. Iran Voss already knows what the scanner is going to say. He has stood in this exact courtyard before. The white marble pillars, the gold-edged banners, the 600 first-year students in pressed uniforms arranged in perfect rows. He has watched the Grand Examiner press the resonant plate to his chest. He has heard the silence that follows. That particular silence, the one that lands before the laughter, is a sound he knows the way you know a scar. The plate flickers. The number that appears above his head is not low. It is not even measurable. The readout blinks twice, and then displays what it always displays for a broken circuit. 0. The courtyard does not stay quiet for long. The laughter starts at the back, low, then louder, spreading row by row until it fills the square like a tide. The Grand Examiner removes the plate from Iran's chest and steps back, as if proximity to a 0 rank might be contagious. Someone near the front whispers, "Fractured mana syndrome," loud enough for 3 rows to hear. The whisper becomes a murmur. The murmur becomes fact. The girl beside him, Sarah Lynn, dark hair, silver thread uniform, the girl he spent 2 years building a future around, does not laugh. She does something quieter and worse. She steps away. 1 step, then 2. Her eyes find the front of the line, where Calderon is already glowing. Calder's readout sits at S+, the highest result of the morning, and he is not looking at the plate. He is looking at Sarah looking at him. By evening, Iran learns they have been meeting for 3 weeks. By evening, Sarah finds him in the East Corridor and says the words that he has, in another life, spent years trying to unhear. That she is not going to waste her future on someone who cannot even channel a spark. That she is sorry, but she says it the way people say sorry when they are not when they mean, "I made the rational choice." That she hopes he finds whatever it is a person with no mana finds. She walks back toward the main hall, and the light from the corridor lamps catches the silver thread on her uniform, and she does not look back. Iran watches her go. He has done this before. He knows what is coming next, and this time he is not afraid of it. That night, in the narrow dormitory room they assigned him, because 0 ranks do not qualify for standard housing, Iran sits on the edge of the cot and waits. He has been waiting for this moment since the first second his eyes opened on this morning. This specific morning, a year before his regression, 2 years before the thing that ended him the first time around. He counts his own breaths. He keeps his hands flat on his knees. Then the air in the room goes very still. Theorist's mind, regression confirmed. Welcome back, Iran Voss. Your fractured circuits are not a flaw. They are the lock. The key is absolute equation. Every spell in existence is a formula. Every formula has a derivation. Every derivation has a flaw. You can read them all. You can solve them before they fire. You cannot cast, but you can rewrite your regression coefficient. 1. Every law of magic you have ever studied across both lifetimes is now accessible. Every error you ever made has been corrected. The theorems are waiting. Begin. Iran reads the message twice. Then he picks up a notebook and starts writing. He does not make noise about it. Calder trains in the combat hall for 6 hours a day. You can hear the impact from 3 floors away. Iran sits in the back of every lecture and writes. He asks no questions, he raises no flags. He uses access permissions granted to 0 ranks by an administrative error in the Academy charter. An error no one has noticed, and no one will. Theorist's mind does not give him power in the way the Academy understands power. He cannot generate a mana signature. He cannot fire a combat technique. What he can do is look at any spell in flight, any formula, and see its structure the way a mathematician sees the idioms, the steps, the place where it is true, and the place, almost always invisible, where it is not. Every technique has a derivation flaw. Every rule of magic was written by someone who chose an assumption. Every assumption cracks under the right counter-equation. Iran has had a lifetime to find all the cracks. The semester moves. The Academy's ranking board posts the monthly standing. Calder at the top, S-rank students ranked below him, and Iran's name in gray at the bottom, with no resonance score beside it. Sarah and Calder sit together at the front of every shared lecture. She does not look at him. He does not need her to. 3 months before the Grand Theorems tournament, Calder finds him in the courtyard and makes the kind of speech that top-ranked students make to 0 ranks when they feel generous, or want an audience. He says Iran should consider withdrawing from the academy before the tournament, because the results will be public and humiliating, and he would hate to see someone embarrass themselves in front of the whole institution. He says it with a smile. 6 of his associates are watching from the steps. Iran looks up from his notebook. He says, "I'll see you at the tournament." He goes back to writing. Calder laughs and walks away. The 6 associates exchange looks. None of them understand what they just missed. The Grand Theorems tournament is the Academy's once-in-a-generation examination. A chalkboard the width of a wall. Unsolved magical equations drawn from the deepest archives. Theorems that have stumped the faculty for decades. First student to solve, each one claims the rank point. The student with the most solutions is named Theorem Master. No one has ever solved more than 2 in a single session. The room holds 200 students and 40 faculty. Iran arrives without a manhwa signature, wearing the gray uniform of a 0 rank. A proctor checks his registration twice and steps aside. Sira is 4 rows back. Calder is in the front row, already comfortable. He sees Iran enter and whispers to the student beside him. They both smile. The grand examiner unveils the first theorem. Iran reads it in 4 seconds. He picks up the chalk and walks to the board. The solution takes 90 seconds, 7 clean steps, and when the grand examiner finishes checking the derivation, he says, quietly, "Correct." No one says anything. The second theorem goes up. Iran solves it in 60 seconds. The third is harder. A resonance law equation listed as unsolvable in the restricted archives since before any current faculty member was born. Iran's chalk moves without hesitation. He solved this one in his last life at age 31. Too late for it to matter. It matters now. Grand examiner stares at the board for a long time. Then he marks it correct. By Theorem 7, the room has gone completely silent. Calder stands somewhere between Theorem 8 and Theorem 9. He walks to the board, picks up chalk, and looks at the equation. He has the highest manhwa resonance in the cohort. He has trained 6 hours a day for every day of this year. He stares at the theorem for 4 minutes, then sets the chalk down and walks back to his seat. Theorem 9, Theorem 10, Theorem 11. The grand examiner calls the session at Theorem 14. The archive is empty. There are no more unsolved theorems. He has used all of them. The examiner board convenes for 11 minutes. When the grand examiner returns, he does not announce a theorem master. He announces something the rank system had a category for on paper, but had never actually needed to use. An absolute rank result. An assessment above the measurable ceiling. The first in recorded history. He reads Iran's name. The room reacts the way rooms react when the thing they were certain could not happen has happened. Not with noise. With a strange collective intake of breath, followed by a very long silence, followed by the slow, reluctant sound of 200 people recalibrating everything they thought they knew. Calder stares at the floor. His jaw is tight and sets down the chalk. He is turning toward the door when he hears his name. Not the grand examiner's voice this time. Not the murmur of the crowd. A single voice from the 4th row. Familiar. He stops. Sarah is standing. Her hands are at her sides. Something in her expression has come undone. The careful composure, the rational certainty she wore when she walked away from him in the east corridor. She says his name again, like a question, like the beginning of a sentence she has not finished building yet. Iran looks at her for a moment. He picks up his notebook from the front desk. He walks out. Behind him, the grand examiner is still holding the announcement, the rank designation hovering in the air above the chalkboard in gold light, and the Academy's greatest manhwa user is still staring at the floor, and the room is still recalibrating. Iran steps into the courtyard, and the afternoon light falls across the marble, and the equation in his mind is already moving to the next theorem. One no one has written yet. One only he knows exists. He has a lot of work to do, and for the first 2 new lifetimes nobody is in his way.